The situation in March 2015. The 2019 Abqaiq Quraysh attack targeted the Saudi Aramco oil processing facilities at Abqaiq and Quraysh in eastern Saudi Arabia on the 14th of September 2019. The Houthi movement claimed responsibility, though the United States has asserted that Iran was behind the attack. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani said that Yemeni people are exercising their legitimate right of defense. The attacks were a reciprocal response to aggression against Yemen for years. 193. Naval warfare capabilities. In course of the Yemeni civil war, the Houthis developed tactics to combat their opponents' navies. At first their anti-ship operations were unsophisticated and limited to rocket-propelled grenades being shot at vessels close to the shore. 194. In the fight to secure the port city of Aden in 2015, the Yemeni navy was largely destroyed, including all missile-carrying vessels. A number of smaller patrol craft, landing craft, and Mi-14 and Ka-28 ASW helicopters did survive. Their existence under Houthi control would be brief, as the majority of them were destroyed in air attacks during the Saudi-led intervention in Yemen in 2015. As a result, the Houthis were left with Ashams stored ashore, but no launchers, and a smattering of small patrol ships. These, along with a number of locally manufactured small craft and miscellaneous vessels, were to form the foundation of the new naval warfare capabilities. 194, 195. Soon after the Houthis took over Yemen in 2015, Iran sought to strengthen the Houthis' naval capabilities, allowing the Houthis, and thus Iran, to intercept coalition shipping off the Red Sea coast, by providing additional Ashams and constructing truck-based launchers that could easily be hidden after a launch. Iran also anchored the Savai's intelligence vessel, disguised as a regular cargo vessel, off the coast of Eritrea, that provided intelligence and updates on coalition ship movements to the Houthis. 196. The Savai served in this capacity until it was damaged in an Israeli limpet mine attack in April 2021, when it was replaced with Barshad. 197. The Barshad, like the Savais, is based on a cargo ship. 198. Meanwhile, in Yemen, the Houthis, presumably with the assistance of Iranian engineers, converted a number of 10-meter-long patrol craft donated by the UAE to the Yemeni Coast Guard in the early 2010s into WBIEDs, waterborne improvised explosive devices. In 2017, one of these was used to attack the Saudi frigate Al Madinah. 199. In the years since, 3 more bead designs have been built: the Torfan 1, Torfan 2, and Torfan 3. 15 different types of naval mines were also produced. 200. These are being increasingly deployed in the Red Sea, but have yet to be successful against naval vessels. 201. The delivery of 120 km ranged NOR and 200 km ranged Qaeda Ashams, 300 km ranged Khalaj Fars ASBMs, and Fach 4CL and Al-Bar al-Ahmar anti-ship rockets by Iran, which were unveiled during a 2022 Houthi parade, was arguably the most significant escalation in support. They combine long range, low cost, and high mobility with various types of guidance to create a weapon well suited to the Houthi Navy. 202. Though the Houthis' ASBM arsenal has yet to be tested, the Houthi Navy has had notable success with Ashams. 203. On the 1st of October, 2016, it was able to hit the UAE Navy's HSV-2 Swift hybrid catamaran with a single C-801/C-802 Asham fired from a shore battery. 204. Although the ship managed to stay afloat, head damage was so severe that it had to be decommissioned. 204. The U.S. Navy then sent 2 destroyers and an amphibious transport dock to the area to ensure that shipping could continue unabated. These vessels were then attacked with gunships on 3 separate occasions, with no success. 205. Though these attacks demonstrated the Houthis' limited ability to threaten vessels in Yemen's surrounding seas, the threat posed by them has since evolved significantly. 203. Armed with a variety of anti-ship ballistic missiles and rockets that can be notoriously difficult to intercept and cover large areas, the next round of maritime clashes with the navies of the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and the United States could have a completely different outcome. 203. The Houthis have also hinted at using their extensive arsenal of loitering munitions against commercial shipping in the Red Sea, a tactic similar to recent Iranian tactics in the Persian Gulf. 206. Patrol boats were fitted with anti-tank guided missiles. About 30 coast watcher stations were set up, disguised spy dhows were constructed, and the maritime radar of docked ships used to create targeting solutions for attacks. 195. One of the most notable features of the Houthis' naval arsenal became its remote-controlled drone boats, which carry explosives and ram enemy warships. 194, 201, 203. Among these, the self-guiding Shark 33 explosive drone boats originated as patrol boats of the old Yemeni Coast Guard. 201. In addition, the Houthis have begun to train combat divers on the Zuka and Bawardi Islands. 195. Alleged Iranian and North Korean support. Former Yemeni President Ali Abdullah Saleh had accused the Houthis of having ties to external backers, in particular the Iranian government. Saleh stated in an interview with the New York Times the real reason they received unofficial support from Iran was because they repeat same slogan that is raised by Iran: death to America, death to Israel. We have another source for such accusations. The Iranian media repeats statements of support for these Houthi elements. They are all trying to take revenge against the USA on Yemeni territories. 207. Such backing has been reported by diplomatic correspondents of major news outlets, for example, Patrick Winter of The Guardian, and has been the reported perspective of Yemeni governmental leaders militarily and politically opposing Houthi efforts. For example, as of 2017, the UN recognized deposed Yemeni President Abdrabbu Mansour Hadi, who referred to the Houthi rebels as Iranian militias. 208, 209. The Houthis in turn accused the Saleh government of being backed by Saudi Arabia and of using al-Qaeda to repress them. 210. Under the next President Hadi, Gulf Arab states accused Iran of backing the Houthis financially and militarily, though Iran denied this, and they were themselves backers of President Hadi. 211. Despite confirming statements by Iranian and Yemeni officials in regards to Iranian support in the form of trainers, weaponry, and money, the Houthis denied reception of substantial financial or armed support from Iran. 24. 212. Joost Hilterman of Foreign Policy wrote that whatever little material support the Houthis may have received from Iran, the intelligence and military support by US and UK for the Saudi Arabian-led coalition exceed that by many factors. 213. In April 2015, the United States National Security Council spokesperson Bernadette Meehan remarked that it remains our assessment that Iran does not exert command and control over the Houthis in Yemen. 214. Joost Hilterman wrote that Iran does not control the Houthis' decision-making as evidenced by Houthis' flat rejection of Iran's demand not to take over Sana'a in 2015. 213. Thomas Juneau, writing in the journal International Affairs, states that even though Iran's support for Houthis has increased since 2014, it remains far too limited to have a significant impact in the balance of power in Yemen. 215. The Quincy Institute for Responsible Statecraft argues that Tehran's influence over the movement has been greatly exaggerated by the Saudis, their coalition partners, mainly the United Arab Emirates, and their lobbyists in Washington. 216. A December 2009 cable between Sana'a and various intelligence agencies in the U.S. diplomatic cables leak states that U.S. State Department analysts believe the Houthis obtained weapons from the Yemeni black market and corrupt members of the Yemeni's Republican Guard. On the edition of the 8th of April, 2015 of PBS News Show, Secretary of State John Kerry stated that the U.S. knew Iran was providing military support to the Houthi rebels in Yemen, adding that Washington is not going to stand by while the region is destabilized. 217. Philip Smith of the Washington Institute for Near East Policy told Business Insider that Iran views Shia groups in the Middle East as integral elements to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. Smith claimed that there is a strong bond between Iran and the Houthi uprising working to overthrow the government in Yemen. According to Smith, in many cases Houthi leaders go to Iran for ideological and religious education, and Iranian and Hezbollah leaders have been spotted on the ground advising the Houthi troops, and these Iranian advisors are likely responsible for training the Houthis to use the type of sophisticated guided missiles fired at the U.S. Navy. 218. To some commentators, for example, Alex Lockie of Business Insider, Iran's support for the revolt in Yemen is a good way to bleed the Saudis, a recognized regional and ideological rival of Iran. Essentially, from that perspective, Iran is backing the Houthis to fight against a Saudi-led coalition of Gulf states whose aim is to maintain control of Yemen. 209. The discord has led some commentators to fear that further confrontations may lead to an all-out Sunni-Shia war. 219. In early 2013, photographs released by the Yemeni government show the United States Navy and Yemen security forces seizing a class of either modern Chinese or Iranian-made shoulder-fired, heat-seeking anti-aircraft missiles in their standard packaging, missiles not publicly known to have been out of state control, raising concerns of Iran's arming of the rebels. 220. In April 2016, the U.S. Navy intercepted a large Iranian arms shipment, seizing thousands of AK-47 rifles, rocket-propelled grenade launchers, and .50 caliber machine guns, a shipment described as likely headed to Yemen by the Pentagon. 221, 222. Based on 2019 reporting from the Jerusalem Post, the Houthis have also repeatedly used a drone nearly identical to Iran aircraft manufacturing industrial companies Ababil-T drone in strikes against Saudi Arabia. 223. In late October 2023, Israel stated that it had intercepted a surface-to-surface long-range ballistic missile and 2 cruise missiles that were fired by the Houthi rebels in Yemen. Reporting from Axios.com. This was Israel's first ever operational use of the Arrow system for intercepting ballistic missiles since the war began. 224. The continuing interceptions and seizures of weapons at sea, attributed to Iranian origins, is a matter tracked by the United States Institute of Peace. 225. Allegations regarding North Korea. In August 2018, Reuters reported that a confidential United Nations investigation had found the North Korean government had failed to discontinue its nuclear and missile delivery programs, and in conjunction was cooperating militarily with Syria and was trying to sell weapons to Yemen's Houthis. 226, 29. 30. Iranian IRGC involvement. In 2013, an Iranian vessel was seized and discovered to be carrying Katyusha rockets, heat-seeking surface-to-air missiles, RPG-7S, Iranian-made night vision goggles and artillery systems that track land and navy targets 40 kilometers away. That was en route to the Houthis. 227. In March 2017, Qasem Soleimani, the head of Iran's Quds Force, met with Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps to